our bread and butter. So let's dive into some film and share with the people why we think this is such a big pickup for Notre Dame.
Yep.
So we are going to start with some film analysis of Sam Pendleton. He's listed between 6'5", 290, 6'4", 305. He plays tackle in high school. Notre Dame is recruiting him to be an interior player. So we'll let a few of these go through. I know people are like, can you just let him run through first? We'll try, but you have to understand, y'all, I'm a coach. We don't let plays just go through. We rewind. We're seeing something here that we saw from the kids, the tackles we broke down the other day, which is a nastiness, right? A physicality. He doesn't look 6'5", 305 to me, 6'4", 305 to me on film.
No.
This is also from last fall. He looks like he's filled out some. He looks like he's a pretty big kid in the upper body. So we'll just have to see him up close and personal. But you can see on here, Ryan, he's definitely interior player. He's definitely an inside guy.
He's a vertical player, right? Like you want him to fire out of his stance to get up to the first and second level. Like that's this type of dude. The one thing I love, Brian, though, and you saw it especially on that pass block early rep, dude has some powerful punch, man. When he lands it, he moves people. Like even on this one on the second level, you see just that subtle pop in those hands. That kid gets stalled and his feet stop.
Yeah. The thing I like too, Ryan, and this is one of those plays where I feel like this kind of shows why I like him at guard. Like you're just not going to reach an edge in college that way, but you can get to a 3 technique. But the thing you see from him here, the thing you see from him in a lot of other plays is exactly what we've talked about with these other linemen that Notre Dame really likes. He drives his feet through contact. There's no stopping at the point of contact for him. And it can be taught, but if you have it already, it's much better for any offensive line coach.
Yeah, and I love the effort he blocks with, and that kind of goes to your point about footwork, for running your feet on contact and finishing plays. Like you can see that he has definitely a little bit of a nasty demeanor to him, but more than anything, I think pretty technically sound for his age, I would say.
Yeah, I think so. I think at times I'd like to see him maybe when he's working for width. He'll lift a little bit, but for the most part, I think he plays with a good base, plays with a good pad level, comes off the line with physicality. This is a nice pass set here. Again, especially if you're talking about a guy that's going to be a guard. You see the base here, Ryan. He keeps his butt low out of his stance, right? Nice base. He's on the balls of his feet, right? He's not flat-footed. He's not leaning back. He's not too forward. You see the length there, though, right? That's the thing I did notice about him. He seems to have pretty good length for an in. My projection of him being inside has zero to do with him not being long enough. That is the one thing I will say about him, Ryan. I'm not sure if you agree with that or not.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a length issue as much as I just the foot quickness is good. I don't think it's great, and I mean more than anything, like I just think he plays like a guard. And I think his body type is more of a guard in my opinion. Like he's got kind of that. Right. He's got kind of those low hips, a little bit of a wide waist. Like he just looks like a guard to me.
Right. And we've talked about that. Sometimes a guy being an interior player is can be as much about his disposition as anything else. And that's true of Sam. Brings his feet a little bit together too much here at the point of contact. But again, you see him driving through the point of contact, really nice feet. I think he's got good agility. It's more, he's not an in-space guy. Right. That's the thing for me. His athleticism projects well inside. Again, you see him getting to the second level quickly. At times he'll get a little bit too narrow, a little bit too high, but man, I really like this kid's punch. He's got one of the best set of hands of any lineman in the country, in my opinion, just as far as just raw power. There's some other things that, obviously, get a little quicker and, continue to do this, that, and the other thing. But the power in his hands is something that really stands out to me. And I think you see that here too, Ryan, is his combination of length, hand power, and then, good foot agility, like not elite, but good, is also why I could really see him potentially being a center as well. Like he fits in at all 3 interior spots for me. And
yeah,
again, I don't know if he can snap. That's a teachable skill though, right? Snapping is a teachable skill. And this is what I like. But look at him driving his feet through contact here. I mean, this is really where you want to be, folks. Like, and he's power stepping, right, Ryan? Like he's not just like running. He's power stepping. You see him with his feet out. Like you said, I think it's a good observation, right? He seems like a really well-coached kid.
Yeah. Now he's got you can tell the guys that really have the kind of emphasis on technique. You can see how He drives that post foot into the ground. He gets good power, gets good power at the point of attack. You can just see a good base pretty consistently throughout. And I agree with you. I think that his biggest strengths for me is I think he's a great zone blocker because I think that things that he does well, he's got that punch at the point of attack. I think when you're running duo and, just kind of doing some combos to second level, he's going to get some good movement up front, but then also his foot quickness is plus inside where he's able to work to the second level. So I think he could play center. I think he has enough length to play left guard. I think he has a disposition to also play right guard on the front side of runs. Like I think he'd know all the above.
I think what you've seen from a couple of these clips too, and I'm going to try to find another one. We just saw it. I may have to go back to the other one, but you can noticeably see him like driving his hips in the run game. Like you can noticeably see it, and you don't always see that. Like this isn't a great example because it's kind of far away. I'm going to try to find one. But what you'll see is you'll kind of see when a guy engages, he's driving his hips, is you'll see kind of like his stomach area kind of go in a little bit, right? And his back kind of goes out. That's where that hip drive is coming from. And you'll see that from Sam in these clips, Ryan.
And I guarantee that because I agree. I think there's a lot of strength through the lower body and the hips. There's a lot of hip snap. I would guarantee that this kid is a good power cleaner, probably a good squatter, probably a good weight room kid in general. You can just see that there's lower body power there.
When you saw the picture that we have on the front page too, like he's got pretty big arms for a high school junior. He's not like a big. That's the thing that I was surprised by because he does like on this film you can't really tell what kind of body he has. And then when you see the photos of him from the Notre Dame visit, you're like, he's just a big kid. Like he's not like fat. You know what I mean?
He's like a farm boy, man.
Yeah,
like that's just what he got.
Yeah, he's a country boy. That's a good way of putting it. Like he's just a big kid.
Yep.
So a lot to like about this young man. And again, we're watching him play tackle. I think his game's going to go to an even greater level when he moves inside. I just think that's where his game is ideally suited. I like this. This is good right here.
Yeah, I think one thing that you said, Brian, like I think at worst, even if he never hits his ceiling, this is a kid that can back up 3 different positions inside. Right. Like this is a depth piece at worst, in my opinion.
This play I like right here because this shows that fundamental, sound play. He's got to help secure his outside gap, so he does that with his outside arm, but he stays square and he's got his eyes inside to protect the B gap. He sees that guy go outside. He steps down, takes on a pretty good-sized kid here, and just opens up a gaping hole. It's a really, really good football play right there.
Yeah, and some people are making a observation. Number 74 on their team's a big kid too. I think I might need to look him up.
He's not the only. I mean, he's not the only good offensive. I mean, he's their best offensive lineman by far. But they've got a couple kids. You're like, okay, that kid's not bad. Okay, that kid's not bad.
They got some size up front.
They're a well-coached football. They're a well-coached group of kids. But I do think his technique, from what I can tell, and I don't know the age groups of those other kids, that might factor into it as well, is the most sound of all of them.
I agree.
Somebody said Spencer Webb, 6'5", 315 pounds.
Oh, gotcha.
So I don't know if that's who that is, but that's what Greekanese 206 just put into the chat.
Greekanese,
that's a big boy.
I
like this recovery right here because this isn't like necessarily a great clip. Like he kind of gets off balance a little bit, right? But he recovers, keeps his base, gets his butt back down, and gets back in position where he's ready to get back in the fight.
Well, and that's when we did our offensive tackle kind of film breakdown, Brian. That's the type of play I was talking about when I'm talking about the flexibility, right? Like there's going to be plays where guys are going to kind of get knocked off their track a little bit. Their body's going to get kind of contorted in different ways. The ability to get your body back in position is a really underrated kind of element of playing offensive line. And although I usually kind of parlay that with playing offensive tackle more than guard, it's still really nice to see that he has some type of flexibility to kind of get out of trouble at times.
Yeah. So that's Sam Pendleton's film, folks. So that is Notre Dame's latest commitment, obviously.